Hey there, guys. There we go. How we doing? Lee, how
Hello,
are you, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, man. I'm good. It's good to finally catch up with you again. Guys, I'm having a quick conversation with Lee here. Lee is very kindly running a lead harvesting, and we'll talk about what that means. Just some free training tomorrow, Halloween. That's right, yeah.
I have a spooky lead.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I kind of just wanted to catch up with Lee beforehand, give you guys a bit of background on what it is that Lee's going to be talking about. And just before we jumped on the call, Lee already dropped a really important distinction. If we want to generate leads for our business, chances are we've already got leads coming in and we've already got opportunities that we can convert into leads. Leah, I'm just going to hand it over to you. What did you mean by that? Because it sounded very true to me.
Oh, it is very true. I have a lead harvesting framework, which is what we're going to be covering tomorrow at I think 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. That would be 5:30 UK and about
Yep.
9:30 Pacific for whoever's out there, right? So
Yep.
we're going to be covering what's called the lead harvesting framework. And to what I was talking about a while ago is just about all agencies out there, or even freelancers that have any presence, like a website of any kind out there, they're already getting enough traffic. They're already getting plenty of traffic, even if it's just 100 people a month or 500, or 50
Mm,
people a month. Those people are highly targeted. When they get there, they're not seeing what they're looking for. So what happens is most of the time they'll have like a contact us form on there or something along those lines, right? And now when people come to your assets, your digital assets, your website, your whatever it might be, okay, they're coming there with a specific pain point, right?
yep.
Meaning, I don't just go to Walmart for the hell of it. You know what I'm saying? I go there to get something,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going there to shop for insert whatever it is, right? And so I have a pain point. So therefore I get in my car, I get dressed, I figure out if I got the money to buy whatever it is I got to buy, and then I go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go with intent, right? So when people come with to your website or your assets or your group or whatever it is, they're coming there with the intent to solve a pain problem.
Mm,
So if all you have is a contact us form, most people, matter of fact, 92% of people, and we'll discuss this. I have a formula. It's 4%, 92%. Actually,
right.
not my formula. My mentor, Jay Conrad Levinson, the father of guerrilla marketing, taught me that
Yep.
formula. And so we're going to cover all this in the webinar tomorrow. But that 92%, they're coming there just kicking tires. They're wanting to
Yeah.
get information. They have a pain point or perceive themselves to have a pain point, and they just want to get like a white paper or they want to get insert whatever it is. And so this simple framework, unbelievably simple framework, is literally tripling, quadrupling, sometimes 10xing
Mm,
leads overnight. And so I'm going to show tomorrow in the webinar a specific example of how one of my students went from getting about 5 to 7 leads a month. They've gotten 44 leads in the past 40 days.
wow.
Exact same traffic, exact same website,
Right.
with the exception of just a few minor tweaks that,
Yeah.
again, the lead harvesting framework provides for you.
So, and it was interesting because we were kind of like, what's the theme? We were like, well, we're going to do it kind of around Halloween, and it's harvest season and stuff, and it is very much a case of collecting leads like crops that have already grown. They're already there. And you mentioned earlier as well, a lot of the time it's actually traffic's not the problem, which is usually what people go to
Usually
straight
it's
away, right?
not. Usually it's not. And as a matter of fact, the smaller your agency, the less traffic you get, but the more targeted those people, they know
Yeah,
most
yeah,
people, you shook their hands, you had dinner with them or something. I mean, this is hyper focused traffic. So don't get hung up on, well, I've only had 100 people come to my website this last.
yeah.
75 of those people probably shook your hand at some, you know what I mean? Like that traffic is unbelievably focused. So don't get hung up in like, I don't have any traffic. That's not accurate. I'm sorry, you might not have a lot of traffic, but it's not accurate that you can't get a lot of leads out of
Yeah, yeah.
traffic. So I'll give another example. Justin, I was on the phone with him yesterday. His niche is custom home builders, and they do what's called parade of homes. Okay, and
Right.
they do those parade of homes typically in the spring and the fall. Okay,
Hmm.
and for other people who do conferences, that's typically what they call like the seminar season. That's when everybody has. That's why traffic and conversion is in like early March. The
Yeah,
weather is phenomenal. Okay,
yeah.
that's why people have events, and that's why DAX, Digital Agency Expo, was in late September, because the weather in New York City in late September is gorgeous.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's the reason they picked those. So this is what we did. all spring, summer, and in fall. All he did was go out to these Parade of Homes. These Parade of Homes would have 4 to 6, maybe 6 to 8 of his target audiences, like his prospects. He would get, without fail, he would go there and probably get every single one of them.
Yeah.
Tally it up. He's got about 98 leads in his database. Guess how many of those 98 leads are actually in his sales pipeline with a status, meaning they have raised their hand and said, hey, I want to get a proposal, I want to buy a product or whatever. Just take a wild guess. Out of 98, how many do you think are in the sales pipeline?
If I had to take a proper wild guess, I'd go for, let's say, 5%. So I'm going to say 4, 5, something like that.
And that's normal. That's normal.
Sure.
He has 39 people. 39,
oh my God.
39 active people in the sales pipeline out of 98 leads.
That's high. That's real high.
Ridiculous. And the reason, and here's what happens, is out of those 39, I'd be willing to bet probably 30 of them didn't have any need at all when he first talked to them. They were like, well, and if they did, they were so busy. It was, money making season. They're building homes, man. Summertime, they got it. They're moving, right?
Yeah.
In the past 30 days, man, they're all like, okay, Justin, I've been getting your emails. I've been getting, the lead harvesting framework's working, basically, right? So they've been raising their hands. Hey, man, you got time to meet? Hey, man, you got time to meet? He's like, Lee, I generated 3 proposals the other day in one day. In one day. So it's insane. Same thing. So when you're out there, you have to learn to harvest whenever the harvesting is right. You don't harvest your corn or your harvest whatever it is you're growing in January. Very rarely does that happen unless you're in Australia. Okay. I mean, it doesn't happen. Okay. Yeah. So meaning, you harvest when you have the opportunity to harvest.
Yep.
So on your website all the time, but publications and conferences and all this other stuff, you go there and you just harvest, right? And then all of a sudden, man, you have the keys to the castle. You're in control.
And I think, presuming you're going to, because I know you're going to go over the framework tomorrow, and guys, if you want to check that out, it's sellyourservice.co.uk/Lee-Goff. I'll make sure to put all the links and stuff underneath it. That's what Lee's going to be sharing with the framework tomorrow. But one of the big things that I see again and again, particularly with agencies, freelancers, people delivering a service, is their actual ability to capitalize on what they are getting. It's not so much that like, oh, I've got this, again, I want to use the field analogy. I live in farmer country down here in the UK, and it's actually not that the field isn't growing. It's I don't have the time or resources or ability or even wherewithal to be able to harvest everything that's out there. Like I'm kind of doing it ad hoc, just trying to run around like a mad chicken trying to.
I think I grew up in farm country, so I actually know some of the terminology.
Yeah, awesome.
So it's the equivalent of having like 100 acres of crop that you're trying to harvest by hand.
Yeah. You got your size.
In other words, go get a damn whatever. I don't know all the time. Whatever they use, that combine or whatever. Go get the right tools. Right? And so meaning that you, I can almost guarantee you 95% of the people who watch this or tune in for the webinar tomorrow, they already have plenty enough traffic. They're already talking to plenty enough people. Or have been over the years, probably in their database. And it's simply how you leverage. Now, I want to touch on one really important point here. Another really cool thing that happens in the lead harvesting framework is that through your prospect actions, you're actually pre-qualifying and vetting them so you don't have to waste your time with a bunch of tire kickers.
Yep.
So let me explain what I mean. When you take this really simple diversification thing that I'm going to explain tomorrow in the webinar, when you do that one little diversification little tip thing that I'm going to give you tomorrow, what happens is they opt in again for that intent. They come there with a pain point or with the intent to get something. So they're going to come in and they're going to opt into whatever it is their pain point is, right? They're not going to go read something they don't have anything desire about. They're going to get what. In other words, my organic SEO sucks. Top 5 checklist. If they don't have any need for organic SEO, they're not going to download that. They're going to go get something else. Right? Yeah. So their actions, whatever they download, will tell you what their pain points are.
Right. Yeah.
It tells you how to close them and how to sell them. Not only that, but whenever they download that, the tire kickers will only download that and not do the secondary. There's a secondary vetting step in the process, and the people who take that secondary vetting step right there, those are your hot leads. That's the ones you get on the phone with. Everybody else, you just let automation work. Again, the combine. You're using a
Yeah.
better tool to harvest more without wasting all of your time. You're not doing it by hand anymore. So.
And it's just so good to hear, because yesterday I sent out an email kind of going through your material, and we've met and we've talked, and I've read the book, and it was really a case of, it's not even trying to generate more leads for your business. You're getting them, and that's why harvesting was such an important distinction for me, because I was like, they're there, you need to have a conversation with them. You don't need more traffic, you don't need more greenfield stuff. You probably already got these relationships with people. Why don't I show you, or even better, why doesn't Lee show you tomorrow, how to harvest the opportunities that are already coming to you?
And again, I'm not going to make a carpet bomb for everybody and say that I guarantee you that you
Sure.
all have more leads than you know what to do with. But I will guarantee you 9 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10 people who tune in tomorrow, okay?
Yep.
I promise you, guarantee you that you are getting plenty of opportunities to harvest. You just got to get a better harvesting tool and machine. That it really is.
Yeah.
It really is that simple. And I learned this, the hard way, because again, let me go ahead and burst the bubble of a few people out there. If you think that you should constantly spend money going to conferences and constantly spend money getting new traffic and all these different things like that, do not tune in tomorrow. That is not that is not what this is about at all. It couldn't be more exactly opposite of that. Now, I am a huge fan of diversification of lead sources. So there is a component to building an agency. You have to have that. But that's not what we're talking about tomorrow, okay?
Yep.
Only after you get this lead harvesting system and framework in place do you ever entertain going out and spending more money in media or doing anything. Don't even go to another live event until you get this in place, okay?
Yep.
Period. Because if you do, again, you might come out of there, let's say, this for quick, easy math, there's 100 people at the conference, okay?
Yep.
And you're really good at lead harvesting, but you don't have all the right tools. In other words, you'll talk to a stranger, there's no big deal. But you don't have the right tools, and you don't have quite the confidence because you don't have the right tools. The next thing you know is you'll walk out of there with 10 leads. But you got the right tools, you got everything in place, and you're ready to rock and roll. Out of that 100, you'll walk out of there with 30. And your systems will vet 30 down to the 4 that are hot to trot right now. They'll come. The other 26 will just wait. And out of that 26, another 10 of those over the next 12 months. Well, hey, okay, I'm ready to talk. Hey, I'm ready to talk now. So it builds upon itself too. It just keeps building and building and building.
And this also becomes a case of, and we'll kind of talk a bit more about like the webinar and when it is and stuff like this. It's people, I think a lot of agencies, they're panicking about where they are in kind of their lead generation, and they're constantly thinking, I need to get more leads in, I need to get more stuff in. And it's sometimes not as difficult as they make it out to be. It's almost like they want it to be harder work than it needs to be. And you think, well, you're probably doing a lot of the work already. You're just not, however you want to do it, closing them or converting them,
Well, to me, this boils down to, this is going to also sound a little bit harsh, but
go for it.
The relationships that you really care about, you spend, you nurture. Okay. Michael, you just got married. Okay. And you pour your heart and soul into your wife and your fiance. I think you guys were engaged forever. And, and meaning like, you really put time into that relationship because it is the most important relationship to you. Not all relationships should have that level of everything. Don't get me wrong. But with that being said, now, your leads and your prospects are the same way. And where I'm going with this is this. A lot of agency owners actually, for whatever reason, believe that whenever the prospect ready, and if they like me enough, they'll remember me, and they'll, out of the 10,000 other people that's hit them, and come find me because they said some super special cosmic connection or something. And I'm like, man, this is the reason I'm bald. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. That is not how this game is played. And it's not that there wasn't a connection, by the way. There was a genuine connection. It's the fact that they have 3 kids, their wife is upset, or their husband is upset, or their wife has got a birthday, or their husband's got a birthday. They're running 2 companies. It rained. Their basement just flooded. Just like the rest of us. Life happens. It's not that they don't get that connection and don't feel it. It's that you gotta remind them every once in a while. You're married. You gotta remind your wife how much you love her and how beautiful she is all the time. And you better. If you don't, you better do it now. Okay. It's critical. Okay. And so you just remind them how much you love them. And whenever they are ready to talk, they'll say, hey, you know what? Do it. So that's what this is really about. You're taking the nurturing of those relationships, and there are no no more important relationships than your leads and your clients. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nurturing, because it's not just harvesting them, it's nurturing them. There's an entire system. There's an entire system that after you get them, it just follows up with them and keeps in touch with them, kind of thing. So.
Yeah. Lee, I'm extremely excited about tomorrow's call, partly because, and this was the conversations we were having in Orlando, is we were both singing from the same hymn sheet in terms of where people should focus and put their priorities. And it was funny, a lot of people coming up to me during the calls and stuff and saying, "Oh my God, Lee was saying the same stuff you were. Mike, you're saying the same stuff as Lee." Like, yeah, that's because that's what's true. Like,
it works. It's not
right?
get rich quick button though. That's one thing. That's the reason I love, man. You and I mean, we're gonna be doing this stuff for years together. I'm so excited about it. And we talked about offline. I'm gonna get a little bit behind some secret sauce kind of thing here, but Mike and I, we've been talking about about a month and a half, 2 months on doing that. And we both interviewed each other. I'm talking about we're just kind of feeling, hey, look, man, are you legit? Are you going to bring the right kind of content? We were both adamant about this cannot be all pitch. It will not be almost. There will be a special offer short, like really at the end, but no real pitch, and it better deliver overwhelming value, and it better not be like a get rich quick, like BS thing. And you are. I'm hoping the community is. I'm feeling it. I think the community's starting to come around. They're like, man, I am over this. The sizzle thing. What is it? People buy the sizzle, not the steak.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping we can start to change that. Guys like you and me and Christina and all the whole crew from R3. We're on a mission, baby. We're gonna get it done.
So let's just quickly wrap that up with let's bring the screen up here. This sounds good. So I'm looking forward to this. So this is tomorrow. It's roughly an hour and a half's time tomorrow. There are a few spaces left. There is a limited spot for 100 seats. If you guys head to the link that's there, and I'll put it in the comments as well, sellyourservice.co.uk /Lee-Goff. Lee, do we need to bring anything to the call? What do we need to turn up with?
Yeah, you just turn up with yourself with a desire to learn. And I was actually looking at the numbers. You know what? We got actually, there's only about 12 more seats available, man.
Okay.
Yeah, out of the 100, there's only about 12 more available. So out there, and I promise you, it will fill up. So make sure.
Yeah.
There's zero. Yeah, it'll fill up probably in the next 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, just pretty quick, real quick. But no. Bring obviously, something to take notes on. You know what I'm talking about? For sure, because there's going to be a whole lot of stuff in there that you're going to want to walk away with. But no, we provide everything. It's very simple. It's a real simple formula, and by the time you leave, you will have a very, very good grasp of exactly what this system is and how to get it in place for your agency. But no, bring yourself and just be dedicated. If you don't mind, shut the phones off, shut stuff down, and just focus to what I'm saying, because this is a game changer. I mean, I'm telling you, every single person that's ever implemented this system, matter of fact, tomorrow in the presentation, I'll put some stuff in my presentation tomorrow of real world results, and it's big fat stacks of cards. Okay, people.
Excellent.
One of my students goes to events, and every time she goes to one, she sends me a photo, like a big fat stacks of cards. I mean, it's 50, 70, 100. I mean, boom, just like this. And now she's pumping out same kind of deal. It just builds. It just keeps building and keeps building and keeps building. And now she's got 500-600 people in her hyper focused niche in her database in less than a year.
Wow.
If I had 2 or 3 years, she's going to have about 2,000 people. And I mean, it is a super, super focused niche. So if you get 2,000 people in this niche, you probably got 75% of the market. You know what I mean? Like literally, And I mean, she's been pumping out proposals right after left on this stuff. So.
Awesome. But just really quickly as well, guys, the two things, everyone wants more leads and closing more leads. If I had to pick two of these here, prospect identifiers, hopefully guys who've been following my Apex program will know just how important I believe prospect identifiers are, or success signals, I think is what we call them. And also eliminating customer acquisition cost. If you've ever been in a situation where you're thinking, I'm spending more money on adverts and I'm trying to spend more money on traffic. And as Lee was mentioning, I'm going to events and whatever they're called, the Chamber of Commerce things, and I'm networking, and it's costing me an arm and a leg. Those breakfasts, they're not cheap.
No, they're not.
This, in my opinion, you might want more leads, but you actually probably need identifiers and a lower acquisition cost. So, I'm extremely excited to go ahead and watch this with Lee.
Yep. The eliminate customer acquisition cost, that actually happens very, the more you're out there, the more you're shaking hands, the more you're harvesting.
Yep.
Again, by definition, harvesting, we go take that information, put it into a silo, okay, like your CRM. All right. And now you got that there. You got a big old silo full of corn or leads that anytime you need it, it's there, right? So, and so, like I said, man, just tune in tomorrow. We'll go through this, and just everybody's ever implemented this framework loves it. They just rave about it. So.
Awesome, man. Excellent. So yeah, I guess we'll be catching up with each other in about 25 hours time, 5 and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So guys, I'll obviously do my best to remind you guys and coming out. So I really hope that you can join me, because I'm going to be on the call, but this is not like a classic. And Lee and I have talked about this, and we've got very similar ideas, but different to the majority of the market on how we should run these kind of partnership calls. It's not a case of just pumping content to one person or another's. We've talked about the quality of the education. If anyone's been on my calls, you'll know exactly the type of the level that we'll be talking at. So yeah, I'm very excited. Lee, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a quick rundown, and I will speak to you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. Y'all have a good day.
Excellent. Cheers, guys. Bye now.